One last little section about mind branding. But before we continue, just a little reminder. The purpose of flashcards or a mind branding flipbook is not to flip through it and read what's on the back side of each page. The purpose is not to simply flip through it and read what's on the dorsal or the back side. The point is to look at it in your mother tongue, read book, and try to think. How do I say that in Spanish? Say it in your mind and then say it out loud. Libro rojo. And then turn it over and see if you're right. This is a method of pulling things from your short-term memory out repeatedly. This will help you put it into your long-term memory. So don't just flip through it and read it. Use it as a memory device, as a device that gently forces you to recall what is on the back side. Now, while we have this open here, you'll notice we've used keyword isolation. What's the word I'm trying to learn there? Azul, Spanish for blue. Keyword isolation helps us to focus in on the new word that we're learning. Now, another thing that you can do after about the third day, when you've gone through all 50 words, now go through the book backwards. Look at this phrase, your key grammatical structure, whatever, in your target language first, and then flip it over and see if you were able to understand it correctly, understanding it in your mother tongue. If you're having difficulty with a word, and it seems like every language I've studied, there are just certain words that I just can't get in there no matter what I do. What can help us to get over those humps, those difficult words? Finger spelling. It's a kinesthetic, tactile, visual, audio method that can really help us to burn those difficult words into our brain. Now, another point is, why not stand while you go through your flip book? We want to avoid blood pooling. That is, we don't want our blood draining out of our brain, migrating into other parts of the body. We want as much oxygen as here in our brain as possible. Now, when we're sitting down for long periods of time, that blood drains out and settles into the posterior of our body. We don't want it there. We want it up here. One last point, one other advantage, a physical advantage to the flipbook is that you can write your progress right inside the cover. What do we mean by that? Well, as you go through your 50 words, you can grade yourself. For example, let's say you start on Monday and your recall rate is 70%. Write down Tuesday's recall rate. Maybe it's 80%. Wednesday, 85%. Thursday, 93, 94%. Now, grading yourself and keeping track of your recall rate is extremely helpful for several reasons. It helps convince you that this system works. It encourages you to continue using this system. Final note, you don't have to use all 12 or 13 of these methods every time you sit down. The beauty of mind branding is the flexibility. So we've shown you all the methods that you can pull in to this system, numerous methods giving you a fantastic dynamic language learning tool. The synergistic effect of pulling these things together, you're going to see when you get this flipbook that it truly, truly, truly is a dynamic language learning tool.